You're listening to a Rev FM production podcast. Welcome to Pastors Live, the show that discusses things of the Bible and current events for people who love to laugh. And now, the hosts who answer questions with more questions. It's Pastors Dave, Ty, Shane, and the other guy.
Hey everybody, it's Pastors Live. It's Wednesday, October 30th. Go to church tonight. I want to encourage you to make that happen. Today is...
And tomorrow night here.
Yeah.
That's right, tomorrow night.
Right.
You go to church tonight and come back again tomorrow night for Light the Night.
Oh, that's right. Tomorrow night is Light the Night.
Tomorrow night.
I was thinking, that's right, because that's the 31st tomorrow.
That's
My
right.
bad.
Isn't that crazy?
So Shane...
Reformation Day.
Yeah, tell everybody a little bit about why we're going to eat so many Reese's peanut... No, we're just... But Shane, talk about Light the Night. Let's talk about that, and let's talk about how people get involved and how they get in and do all that stuff. So
yeah, Thursday is going to be a great day. It's Reformation Day, which I personally love. Thanks, Martin Luther. Appreciate you and your sacrifice for sure.
Please dress up your children as Martin Luther.
Yeah.
No, we're kidding.
But it's also Light the Night, right? In honor of our community, trying to impact them and get the gospel out, we host a Halloween alternative where we invite the community to come in and participate in little games and activities that get you candy. And you also get Bible cards, which have different characters and information on them for your kiddos to learn about these awesome people that are in the scriptures and are mighty men and women of the Lord. And so, yeah, there are going to be a couple villains too, of course, like Goliath and I think Herod and stuff like that. But it's a great fun night, and the cost to get in is a donation for a Operation Christmas child shoebox. So you can bring some socks, some school items, some toys, and some maybe some rags and washcloths and things as such that can fit in a shoebox to be shipped out all over the world for kids to have a good little Christmas and to receive the gospel, as we talked about. Every time we talk about Operation Christmas Child, it's always in partnership with the gospel. So come on out, bring one of those items. If you need to know what to bring, you can reach out to me, Shane@watersprings.net. I can give you a good do's and don'ts list of what to bring. But we want to encourage you to come out to have fun. There's also going to be some concessions there, some drinks, and
also for missions.
For missions, yeah. Right. All the proceeds to that go towards missions.
What do you guys have? Hot dogs and hamburgers, or just hot dogs, chili dogs? What is? I can't remember.
This year we're doing nachos and hot dogs. Those are a hit, right? And we did chili one year, and I still have the stains in my car from it because we had a bunch of leftovers, and the cup overfloweth.
Oh wow!
That's all I got to say. It was good chili, but it just, for whatever reason, it just wasn't the night, right? And a lot of times it's still decently warmish outside during that time.
Not this year.
But yeah, if it is cold, maybe we might do a quick one and get some chili on there.
So hot dogs and nachos, and you have sodas and lemonade,
water, soda beverages, water bottles, and some other drinks as well.
Nice.
Just a sweet, simple little meal to get you going.
Now I have a serious question that I need an answer for. Can your Gabrielle still fit in her shoebox costume?
So we've been discussing that.
For those who don't know, your Gabby's now in her third trimester of pregnancy.
Yeah, man.
She's finally starting to get a little, for the rest of us to see, a little bump.
Exactly. Yeah. And so it's starting to weigh on her. And so I said, honey, you do not have to wear that box because I have a T-shirt that has Operation Christmas Child with the Christmas tree on it.
Yeah.
It's just some fun things. I said,
you don't have to wear the shoebox.
To be obligated to wear that shoebox.
That's funny. Last year, you guys were dancing together and all that.
That was so much fun.
That's so fun.
Yeah,
we love Light the Night. One of our listeners wrote in and said, hey, pastors, you talked about Light the Night. Thanks for having a true alternative to Halloween where kids, believers, and non-believers are taught. We've got several families. Check this out. I don't know if you guys saw this or not. We have several families coming over from Jackson Hole
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
That is cool.
I love that. And so, Gerald, thank you, Gerald Hansen from Jackson Hole. Gerald, if you don't mind, if you could just get a couple of cups of coffee from Cowboy Coffee and bring them over.
Just bring them over for the pastors. We'll be here.
Yeah, we will be here. Shout out to the children's ministry as well, because they put this on. And they just do a great job. Yeah, they do a great job.
And this year, a lot of the small groups are doing the booths.
Yeah. It's really cool to see the church involvement. Shout out to all of the volunteers that are going to be helping.
You guys, right? Worship community is doing a booth?
We were going to do karaoke for treats, but apparently Gary is doing a booth this year with the radio. So we have to put that off for another year.
They're doing musical chairs or something.
Yeah, I think we're doing musical
Sylvia
chairs.
and I are doing, for our small group, we're doing Manna from Heaven. So they've got the powdered donuts on strings, and the kids have to put their hands behind their back and eat the powdered donut off of this dangling string, which is cute because they get the powdered sugar all over their face. But it's manna because manna was small, round, white, and sweet. That's how
it came down from heaven.
And Jesus said, "I am the manna that came down from heaven."
So wait a minute now. Are you doing the little ones?
We're doing little ones for the little kiddos.
Oh, okay.
And then we're getting some of the powdered donuts that have raspberry filling from Franz.
The fritters from
because they get
Place?
the raspberry and the powder all over their face. It's so cute.
That's awesome.
So cute.
And
then
awesome,
the kid comes out and goes, "Say hello to my little friend."
No.
What's awesome?
But they get their little card that has a picture of the children of Israel gathering manna.
What's awesome?
That's why it's an outreach, though.
Nobody come dressed as Al Pacino, please.
That's right.
What's awesome this year, I'm excited, is my wife, Jennifer, gets to come and help this year.
She doesn't have to work that night.
Nope.
Oh my goodness! Well, there you go. Listen,
So I'm excited.
whether
about
you're
that.
in Jackson Hole or Jackson, pardon me, I know I always say Jackson. Whether you're in Jackson, Pocatello, American Falls, Idaho Falls, Ammon, wherever you live, come on out and meet some of these people that you hear our voices.
We'll greet you at the door.
Gary's going to be doing the music. Steve and Pastor Ty will be doing stuff with Ty's always there.
I'll be helping. I'll be opening the doors too to welcome people. And
Shane will be dressed as a shoebox.
There you go.
And Sylvie and I will be doing
What more do you
the manna from heaven.
That's right.
What more do you
Right?
want?
And is Bud
What
doing
more do you
Goliath
want?
again this year? Probably.
He wants to.
Yeah.
No one mentioned
well-
it to him, but he's like, I got to do it.
Yeah,
I've been doing it for 5 years or 4 years.
So
Nice.
Well, the thing is like, is he Goliath or is he very tall David? He's Goliath. Yeah.
Goliath,
So he's Goliath, Wow. So
Wow.
So
Or a mighty man of valor. He could be a mighty
He's like,
man
I got
of valor.
to do it this
I
year.
just looked online.
By the way,
I could
the
get a Martin
Gadites-
Luther costume. I sent it to you guys.
yeah, no,
Check
I
out the
saw
link.
that. That was really good.
Maybe I'll come as Martin Luther.
Are you going to
doing
do?
it.
Are you going to do the haircut too?
I don't have to. I already have that.
Oh, okay. You already have the haircut.
Have you
Come as a
seen what's
friar.
under this hat? Gee, many cricket. What, Steve?
You come as a friar.
Come as a friar. No, we don't do any fried
Yeah, we don't do
foods.
fries. We don't.
Yeah,
have
No, not fries.
No fried.
Friar duck.
Yeah, no.
Yes.
Anyway, so
From
we love
Looney
Light the Night
Tunes.
because it's a blessing to the children that attend here and the families.
Yep.
It's a blessing to the families in our community that they can go someplace that's safe.
Yeah.
And they're not getting weirded out with all the ghouls and goblins and witches and stuff that's totally antichrist. But they also get to hear and actually see the Bible being lived out for them, and they receive the gospel as well as bunches of treats and fun stuff, and it's just a wholesome night.
Yep.
And the name of Jesus Christ is high and lifted up. We love Light the Night, and it benefits Operation Christmas Child and Samaritan's Purse, and the gospel is going to go around the world. I mean, it is a win.
And I do want to make a point. It is an outreach. And
Yeah.
so every once in a while, we have people that show up that aren't
they're
part of the church.
Frankensteins
And they're
or Wolfmans and all that.
they're coming dressed in certain ways. And you're
We
just
don't
like,
judge anybody.
No. But, if it's really bad, we usually
We
say,
ask, hey, can you
Hey,
take
take that mask
take
off
that
or
hatchet out of your head? That'd be great.
yeah, whatever. But a lot of times people have already gone other places and have done some
Can you
other
take
things.
your head?
That's right, sure.
Can you take your head and put it back on?
Right, yeah, exactly.
I watched a gnarly lightsaber duel last year.
Oh,
was
yes.
awesome.
I remember that.
Till the finger got smacked.
Oh,
It
I'm
was
getting
awesome.
hung out to- oh, there we go.
Boom.
Fist bump.
It was awesome. I was
Yes.
so proud of those two.
Yeah, they did
cool.
a good job.
Yeah.
They really, really did.
In the middle of the
The oxygen there, yeah. The Star Wars
Yeah.
lightsaber thing. Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, and Dave, if you dress like that and we give you a lightsaber, that'd be a pretty good costume. Dave
Martin Luther meets Darth Vader.
Or Yoda.
I thought you were gonna say Martin Luther Skywalker or something.
Oh,
like
nice.
that.
Meets Yoda.
I've never
Martin
seen one
Yoda.
episode of Star Wars, but could that be a thing? Martin Luther Skywalker?
I think so.
How about
Is that a last name or
How
is that
about,
a
just
position?
Martin
It's a name?
Skywalker?
It's a name, yeah.
We'll just go with that.
I thought Skywalker was like a position, like you walk in space or something.
See,
It's a name. It's a last
If
name.
it was walking in space, it would be Spacewalker.
Yes, it'd be space. Yeah,
Well, that's right.
I'm working
Spacewalker.
on my dad jokes.
Shut up, Shane. Oh, that's true. Fist bump. There you go.
Wow.
Yeah. Right on.
By the way, if you're talking about dad jokes, by the way, if you have a dad joke, Pastors Live at the Rev.fm. We want to hear your best dad jokes, but I have one for you.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, here we go.
Why was Pavlov's hair so soft?
Why was Pavlov's hair so soft?
Yeah,
I don't know why.
he conditioned it. So
That is so good. I love that. I love that.
That's a little bit.
Nice.
That's a highbrow dad joke. But yes.
I saw where somebody, this one dad doing some weird stuff in his neighborhood. He's putting out a big giant bowl, like a big salad bowl, full of habaneros that look like little pumpkins. And so he says, 1 pumpkin per kid, please. And he's got this note out there so that. Can you imagine some kid biting into a habanero?
Oh, my gosh.
End up in the ER.
But I like it.
I know, right? And then the same guy had another bowl next to it that was empty, and he had a little sign that said "Ghost Peppers." Oh,
That's good. Yeah, I like that.
Well, by the way, I do want to point out something about safety this time of year.
Yes.
You know what? If your kids are young, go with your kids. Know where your kids are.
Yep.
Check things out. If the house has lights off, don't go to the door.
right, yeah.
If you are going to invite people to your home, turn all your lights on. Make sure people know it's a
light the night.
light of the night. I don't know if the local places here they used to do X-rays. I don't remember. Dave, you remember that one?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it was a big deal, especially in
X-ray
Southern
and candy.
California.
Yeah,
You could
X-ray
take
and
your
candy.
candy to the local sheriffs and they'd
Inspect your
X-ray, or hospital.
kiddos' candies for sure. And if you have
Yeah.
teenagers, tell them to, hey, look out.
And another
Yeah.
good reason to have a Halloween alternative at your local church or something. And I know some places, local YMCAs will do it.
Sure,
It's
sure.
far out. But if you're in our area, then we definitely want to invite you to come on out, and your kids will be safe. You'll have a lot of fun. You'll hear and see and experience Bible characters. Yeah. I love that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Absolutely, 100%.
And by the way, in honor of Reformation Day, for people who don't know,
yes.
in 1517 on October 31st, Martin Luther nailed his 95 Theses to the Wittenberg door, the church there at Wittenberg, and which was kind of the social media of the day. That was Facebook of the day.
That was the wall for Facebook.
That's
that was it. Yeah,
absolutely. So he tacked his 95 Theses against the corruption of the papacy to the door at Wittenberg. And so in honor of that, just remember, if your kid eats 1 Reese's, he has to eat 95. 95 Reese's in honor
Man, that
of
sounds
Martin
like
Luther.
a deal.
I love that. That's a really good
That's a
deal.
good
I think
plan.
and if the kid doesn't get 95, he only gets 60, then you just have to take them from him and eat them yourself.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the rule of parenting.
Be happy to
Well,
do it.
and
Martin Luther
yeah.
really, he a lot of people don't understand that when you look at history and these guys like Martin Luther and others who have stood up for, hey, I'm reading the Bible and what you guys are doing is not what we're finding in the scriptures.
Right.
They suffered because of it. They were kicked out and condemned by the wickedness of men.
Wycliffe, Tyndale.
Yeah.
Luther, these guys that said every Christian should have a Bible in their own language.
Yeah.
They paid a huge price for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they did.
And were they perfect? No, they were not
no.
perfect. There's so much about Martin Luther, because I know I can already hear people tapping away on their emails. We understand Martin Luther had some real issues.
Yeah, he did.
He was not perfect. He spent a great part of his life in a system that was not perfect, learning bad theology, right? But thank God that he did. Now, here's an interesting thing. We had a conversation the other day on this program. I can't remember if it was what day it was. Anyway, we had a conversation here about how do you rebuke an elder? Right. Not harshly and so forth. And remember that Martin Luther initially wrote a letter, a very kind letter saying, I don't think, you understand what's going on here. And John Tetzel is going out and he is preaching bad doctrine and he's saying bad things. And he wrote to Rome as a concerned Catholic monk, and he was gentle to the elder. He was gentle to the one that he was in submission to, not knowing that they were actually behind John Tetzel's message. Yeah. And that's when he became so harsh. But he didn't start harsh, and he realized people are being led astray by the church. And he didn't start out to start a Protestant movement. He was Catholic to the core. He just wanted to reform the church. That's why we call it Reformation
Day.
Right.
And he was trying to reform souls.
That's exactly right. He was a man who, when people are being told, hey, just, for every coin in the box that rings, a soul from purgatory springs.
Yeah.
Wait a second here. You're telling people, poor people, that if they give more money so you can build St. Peter's Basilica, that their loved ones will be released from purgatory? No. I can't stand back for that. And so thank God that he didn't. I'm thankful for the movement.
One of the things about how he started it too, we're talking about, he said, out of love for the truth and a desire to elucidate it, basically to show it, right? He says, the Reverend Father Martin Luther, Master of Arts of Sacred Theology, and ordinary lecturer therein at Wittenberg, intend, and this is what's important, intend to defend the following statements and to dispute on them in this place. What we have to realize is, he said, out of love and my desire to show it, I am willing to defend my statements below. Mm-hmm. And the first thing he says is when our Lord and Master Jesus Christ said, repent, Matthew 4:17, he willed that the entire life of the believer to be one of repentance.
Right.
And one of the issues that he was frustrated with was the church's buying of indulgences to build St. Peter's Basilica. And a lot of people misunderstand. By the way, if you think for one moment that Martin Luther, the 95 Theses were about grace versus works, you need to go read them.
That's right.
Because I remember growing up in church culture and hearing people say, oh, the 95 Theses, or, that's where he gets up and he defends Galatians and he defends, I was like, well, no.
Not in the 95 Theses.
Not in the 95 Theses. Right. He does it elsewhere.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
But I would encourage you today or tomorrow, and I usually do it on the 31st during the day.
I do.
Today or tomorrow, stop and just get yourself a copy. If you can read it in German, great. If not, you can find it in English and just read through
his 95 Theses.
The 95 Theses. And you know what? Have a Reese's peanut butter cup when you're doing it. And if you want to be healthy, get the small bag, get the bag of the small ones, and then you read one, you reward yourself with a Reese's.
Who wants to be healthy on October 31st?
Nobody at all. No one.
RFK.
Right.
Oh, thank you. Make America healthy again.
Well, I remember.
What's that hat going to look like?
I'm getting one. I already ordered mine. No, they already have it.
Oh, make America
healthy again.
They have it. They have shirts.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, actually. It's pretty cool.
I remember reading, I can't remember what book it was in, but it was when Martin Luther was going through Romans and finally came to the conclusion of, wow, grace.
Yeah, he didn't get past chapter 1 before he was confronted with the just shall live by his faith.
And his commentary on that and his I can't remember where I was reading it, but it was just beautiful. He's in tears, just
right.
Wow.
Well, and there's the thing people may not realize, right? As a monk, he really desired to be pleasing to God, but there again, you're in a works-based system, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he actually wrote in his journal once, "Methinks I hate God." Because he was trying so hard, he would crawl naked through the snow and put his body in so much pain, trying to become right with God, to have atonement, to have righteousness. And he worked so hard at it and could never find it, to the point that he actually wrote, "Methinks I hate God."
Right.
because it's like, I'm never going to please you. Right. And his mentor said, Martin, have you read the book of Romans? Well, no, I'm an Old Testament scholar. That's what he taught at Wittenberg, right? He was an Old Testament scholar. So here's a monk who had never read the New Testament. He said, you've never read Romans. Well, no, I'm an Old Testament scholar. You need to read Romans. And he didn't get past chapter 1 before he came undone and said, what have I been doing? The just shall live by his faith. And something was born and birthed in his heart. And he began to pray, I am yours, take me. I am yours, take me. And he was born again.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And I love when I meet an Old Testament scholar, because an Old Testament scholar, when they acknowledge the New Testament, are better Old Testament scholars.
100%.
Because the Old Testament is so unwoven for us in the New Testament. You know, it's like in the Old Testament, it's kind of bound up, and then we get the New Testament, and Jesus is revealed, and the Messiah is revealed, and then the kingdom goes out and acts, and then it's like the defense of that kingdom. It's like, look, we're defending the truth, but we're defending the truth, and I love how Paul is great at this. He goes back to the commandments. He goes back to saying, hey, we're justified by our faith.
Right.
And you know what? And all the laws fulfilled in this one word, right? Thou shalt love your neighbor as yourself. I mean, he goes back to that. And if you think about, I'll kind of end with this idea, but if you think about Psalm 15, right? Psalm 15 is, who shall sojourn, Lord, Lord, who shall sojourn in your tent, and who may abide on your holy mountain, right? So you can see there's eschatology in that, right? There's the temporary and then there's permanent. But then there's a series of questions, verse 2 through the first half of verse 5, which all deal with how we've treated our neighbor. And so there's an idea that some put this in a category of what would be called entrance liturgy, like you'd go in, you're journeying as a Jew to a festival, and the priest would ask you that question, or you would ask the priest that question, and then you'd respond with the rest of the verse. And it's in a series of 10, which makes it seem like it was a learning tool for kids as well. But imagine having to do some self-reflection before you come into worship. Right. And that's what I love about, and he goes back to it's all about loving your neighbor. And even in those Psalms, it's about loving your neighbor. Those are the things that keep us from being in relationship with God, is when we're not in relationship with each other. And so just for that, just something to think about, and we can come back and talk about that a little bit more tomorrow. But hey, listen, you're loved, your family, God bless you, and we'll
go to church tonight.
Go to church tonight, and we will see you tomorrow night, and we'll talk to you during the day. God bless you.
You've reached the end of another episode of Pastors Live, a Rev FM production podcast. Thank you for listening. Submit your questions and comments by email to pastorslive@therev.fm. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review from your favorite podcast listening platform. Subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, or Amazon so you don't miss the next episode drop.